I hope everyone is well. Just want to say good afternoon to all. I hope you all well. I hope you all happy. I hope you all are excited about our lesson today. The good response from yesterday's work motivated me to say that, you know what, change something up. Let us go into multiplication and division of fractions. So because I saw that you guys understood the addition and subtraction of like ones, and then you also understood addition and subtraction of unlike fractions, I said I might as well do multiplication and division of fractions, so that next week when we start doing into other exercises and we also touch into the fractions as well, we can do everything as a whole. We can even ask questions about addition ones, then go there, go everywhere. So nothing blocks us from going deeper the minute we have done something. So I just want to check from you guys is to say that how has been fractions so far? Has they been easy? Are they difficult? Like, how do you feel fractions have been so far before we just start off with the lesson? You can write it in the chat to say, how have you felt? How has fractions been so far for you guys? You can put it down in the chat. Are the fractions easy, or you're finding them a bit more difficult, or they're challenging? How are you finding fractions so far? Hello? Hello? One more time. Hello? Not working. Hello?
Hello,
How are you?
sir. Hello, sir. I'm fine and you, sir. I'm fine and you, sir.
I'm excellent. How are you finding fractions so far?
I'm finding certain concepts difficult, but overall, I think I understand the methods and all that stuff.
So you do find them challenging?
Like only some of them, just a little bit challenging.
Like what? The numbers, that because now we're dealing with bigger numbers.
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent. Let me get information from your colleague. Hello?
Fractions were a bit difficult. Multiplication and division of fractions.
Yes.
They were a bit difficult.
Division and multiplication of fractions that is difficult.
Yep.
What do you feel about multiplication and division of fractions that is difficult?
I feel like I think I need more practice.
All right. No, that's good. That's good. So I'm going to hope that I unlock this for you guys and make it easier. Here's my Twitter handle and email address. You can contact me there. My name is Chiponoswelongwe. Right, so we're doing multiplication and division of fractions. So multiplication and division of fractions. Sometimes, my maths teacher in grade 8? I think it was in grade 8. Yes, it was in grade 8. She had once said that when we're looking at multiplication and division of fractions, we're normally talking about the same thing because both of them, our intention is to multiply. Both sides, our intention is to multiply. That's why she believed that multiplication and division of fractions are the same, because in both circumstances, our intention is to multiply. Our intention, our goal is to multiply. Why? When we look at division of fractions, we never divide fractions. There's not a time ever you're going to divide a fraction by a fraction. You're not going to do that. There's no time ever we're going to divide a fraction by a fraction. So we need to change it into multiplication because there are only 3 operations that work with fractions. Please write this down. There are only 3 operations that work with fractions. It's addition, subtraction, and multiplication. 3 operations that work with fractions are addition, subtraction, multiplication. I'm not saying that you won't find a question that asks you for division of fractions, but when you're actually calculating, either you're going to add, subtract, or multiply. Now, because you know you must multiply, here, if we look at the division sign must change and it becomes a multiplication. After the division sign has changed, it now, because now you've changed the division sign to multiplication, also one fraction here on the right must change and the denominator must become the numerator and the numerator must become the denominator. Why? Because you changed the sign. Because you changed the sign, the denominator must become the denominator of the previous side must become the numerator and the numerator must become the denominator. Then you just multiply. 4 times 3 is 12, 5 times 2 is 10, which is 12 over 10, and then you change it into a mixed fraction, which is 1 over 5. I'm going to show you that as we go along. Then multiplication, you are just aligning, and then you say 2 times 3 is 6, 5 times 4 is 20, 6 over 20, which gives 3 over 10. Here you just multiply directly. And also another thing about multiplication of fractions, which you must also write down, is to say it does not matter whether the fractions the denominators are the same or not. We are going to multiply still both denominator by denominator, numerator by numerator. It does not matter whether the denominators are different. When you're multiplying or dividing, you're going to do multiply denominator with denominator, numerator with numerator. Please write this down now. Please write this down now. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to write down both examples. Then start going into examples. 2 minutes has started. Your 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 2 minutes. You've got 1 minute remaining. You've got 1 minute remaining. Remember, I also said you can screenshot, you can screen record. There's a lot you can do in order to get the information quicker. And I always say use the technology as much as possible. Screen grab, screenshot. Oh, there's a lot of names just to take a picture of the screen. "40 seconds remaining. 40 seconds remaining. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Please tell me if you are done. I just need notification from two more people. 2 more people telling me that they're done so I can go into the next slide. So we can go into the next slide. 2 more people. 2 more people. So we can go into the next slide. I need to be told that you are done. So we can move into the next slide. The following slide. All right. All right. All right. So we can move into the next slide. All right. Next slide. So multiplication of fractions. What is the first step? You align the fractions next to each other. So you put the fractions next to each other. Second step is you multiply numerators with numerators, denominators with denominators. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 10 is 50. Then you simplify. So you look for a number that can divide both this number and both the 12 and 50 at the same time, which is what? 2. So what's 2, or what is 2 into, what is 12 divided by 2? 6. What is 20, what is 50 divided by 2? 25. Then you are done. You simplify. So multiplication is simple. You multiply numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator. You get your answer, then you simplify it. Then you put it in the lowest form. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. 50 divided by 2 is 25. Then you're done. That's all with multiplication of fractions. That's all. There's nothing else you do. There's no LCD, there's nothing. All you do is just multiplying denominator, denominator, numerator with numerator, and then you simplify. You make it smaller. You make it more smaller as a fraction, and then life is done. You are done. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to write down the steps of multiplication of fractions. The 3 steps to multiply fractions. I'm giving you 2 minutes to write down the 3 steps to multiply fractions. That's all you are doing. Numerators multiply with numerators, denominators multiply with denominators. There's nothing else to consider. Even if your denominator is 1,000,000 and your other denominator is 50 million and your numerators are 20,000 each, you multiply numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator. Might take you a while to simplify it, but it's important that you follow the steps step by step. So can I be told who is done writing? Can I be told who is done writing? Can I just be notified through the chat who is done putting this down? Remember, I also said that you can also take screenshots. You can also take screen grabs. You can also live record. You can use the technology to get the information. You can use the technology to get the information. If you're using an iPad, you're going to press the center, that button in the center with the square, I think, in it, and the power button at the top at the same time, and it's going to take a screenshot for you. If you're using a laptop, you're going to press the Windows key. So it is the key of Windows that has shaded blocks and print screen, which is between F12 and insert. It says PRTSCR. You press those 2 at the same time. It takes a screenshot of the laptop, the screen of the laptop that you're working with. If you are using a phone, Android, normally it's just the power button and one of the volume keys. So you press the power button and the volume key at the same time, and then it also takes a screenshot if you're using an Android cell phone. So there are many ways. With all devices, there are ways to take a screenshot if you are not a person who's quick with writing. Right. Time up. Awesome. Next slide. Next slide. So, as I said, step 1, we align them. Then we say 5 times 1, it's 5. 6 times 2 is 12. Then you have 5 over 12. You're done. Then you come here. So I need to change this into improper. Right? That's my idea first. So I change them into improper fraction. So I put an IF improper fraction, I'll put an IF. And how to change it into an improper fraction? Multiply with the bottom, add with the top. Multiply with the bottom, add with the top. Multiply with the bottom, add with the top. So we say 6 times 3 plus 1 is what? 6 times 3 is 18 plus 1 is 19. Keep the denominator over 3. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 1 is 31. 31, keep the denominator over 6. Then I multiply. 19 times 31 is 590 and 89. 3 times 6 is 18. Then I ask, how many times does 18 go into 589? 32 times. Then we say that 32, right? Are we together? And I hope we're together. We say 32 multiplied by 18, right? 32 multiplied by 18. 32 multiplied by 18 gives you 576. What is left to get to 589? It is what? Plus 13. So it gives you 589. You understand that this goes in here 32 times. So we put it 32. Let me show you. This goes into this. Let me remove that mistake. Right. So 18 goes into 589 32 times, right? You keep the denominator, right? After finding out how many times that it go inside, you keep the denominator. Goes 32 times, but you keep the denominator. Then you're now looking for the remainder. 32. Now we say that if we're together and we're all listening, we say 32 times 18 is what? 576. So we're looking for our remainder, which is going to take us to what? 89. So what plus 576 gives you 589? 13. That's how we found our answer of 32, 13 over 18. Are there any questions for now before I go into the next example? Before I go into, oh, please write down this. As I explain, please write down. Make sure you write down as I explain. Are there any questions before I go into the next example? Are there any questions before I go into the next example? Do you have any questions before I go into the next example? I hope I'm audible enough. So I'm asking, do we have any questions before I go into the next example? Questions going once? Questions going twice? Any questions before going to the next example? All right, I see. All right, so let me have a conversation here. Hello, madam. Hello.
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 I don't understand how you got to
Please speak louder.
say I don't understand how you got to 19 times 31.
All right. So you see here, remember when we were doing addition and subtraction of a mixed numbers, right? We
Yes,
said we
sir.
change the improper, the mixed fraction into an improper fraction, right?
So, yes, sir.
You do that, you take the whole number, you multiply the denominator, and then you add the numerator. The denominator stays the same. Nah? When
Yes,
you're
sir.
converting it, right? Input here.
Yes.
The
Yes,
denominator
sir.
stay the same. All you want to find out is what is my numerator in this improper fraction, because you know that when you are converting improper, a mixed to an improper fraction, the denominator stays the same. So the question is, what are my numerators? So how do you get the numerator of this improper fraction? You say 6 times 3, right? Is what?
Yes, sir.
8 plus 1 is what? 19. Then we go to the next step. We say, now my 19 looks like it's going through something very serious in life. Let me clear this up. And then I do this. All right. It's 19, right? Then we say 5 times 6 is what? 30. Plus 1 is 31. Denominators stay the same, right? What we want is the numerators, because we're converting these into what? Improper fractions, so that we can multiply them much easier and not have any problems.
Okay, sir, I understand.
That's where the 19 and the 31 comes from. They are the 19 over 33 and the 31 over 6 are the actual changes from this mixed into improper fractions. Remember,
Okay,
fraction
thanks.
is a fraction that has a numerator that is bigger than the denominator.
Yes, sir.
Are we together? So now do you
Yes.
understand where we got this from?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then what we do, we just say 19 times 31 times 6, which gives us what? 19 times 31 is 589. 3 times 6 is 18. Then we just convert it into a mix like I showed you to say. We say how many times does 18 go into 589 is 32 times. Then we write 32, and then we put bracket, not bracket man. We put let me erase so I can show you again. So we write the 32. Huh?
Yes, sir.
5. We write the 32. And we know that the denominator will stay the same. So then we ask ourselves, what is 32 multiplied by 18? It's what? 576 after you do the calculation, right? So what is short for me to get to 589? 13. Then you're done. Do you now get it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Awesome. If you get it now, I'm happy. I am happy. I am a happy man. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. So I hope now I've cleared it up. Let me go into the next example. Same story here. We multiply the numerator with the numerator, denominator with the denominator. Oh, let me say, are you guys done writing here? I need to get clarity on that before I go further. Are you guys done writing? Because I said you must also make sure that you're writing also while I'm explaining so you can get what I'm talking about. Are you guys done writing? Can I get notification if you are done? And we'll go into the next one. All right. All right, done. Who else is done? Is there anyone who's still writing? Okay. Is there anyone who's still writing? I just need to get people if you are done writing, because I don't want to move to the next step without making sure that you guys have written this down. Converting a mix to an improper fraction is very easy. The denominator stays the same. You can even just write the fraction line and the denominator. Then you ask yourself, I take the mixed, I multiply it with the denominator. I take the whole number, multiply with the denominator, and add the numerator. That will become the numerator of my improper fraction. That becomes the numerator of my improper fraction. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 1 is 19 over the same denominator, which is 3. 5 times 6 plus 1 is 5 times 6 is 30 plus 1 is 31 all over 6. That becomes our improper fractions. Simple as that. Very simple. Right. So I start here. 10 times 3 gives me 30. 5 times 5 gives me 25. Then I ask myself, How many times would 5, because the number I know that can divide both is 5. So how many times does 5 go into 30? 6. How many times does 5 go into 25? 5 times. Then I have 6 over 5, and then I change it now into an improper. How many times does 5 go into 6? Once, right? The denominator will remain the same. So I know that 5 goes into 6 once, the denominator remains the same. Then I ask myself, 1 times 5 is 5. To get to 6, what do I need? 1. Because to change it back into an improper, you multiply with the denominator, you add the numerator. So 1 times 5 is 5 plus 1 will give me 6 over the same 5. Or no, over the same 5, which is my denominator. It will be 6 over the same 5, which is my denominator. Then I'm done. Simple as that. Same side here. 20 times 5 is what? 100. 7 times 3 is 21. How many times does 21 go into 100? 4 times. Then I still write the same denominator, which is 21. And I ask myself a very important question. 4 times 21 is equal to what? 4 times 21 is equal to 84. What plus 84 gives me 100? 16. That's how I got 16 over 21. Are there any questions now? Because I want us to go to division of fractions. Are there any questions now? Because I want us to head to division of fractions. Please write this down here. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to write down both. 2 minutes has started already to write down both. 2 minutes has started. All right. Please write it down. You have 2 minutes to write. Then I go into the division of the fractions. Then we try a class exercise, and then we are done for the day. Then we can rest and be done for the day. Then we can now have homework of maths. I'll give you guys your homework. After I give you guys the homework, then you can be at peace. You will be at peace from henceforward. Then we start next week again. You have 1 minute remaining. Yeah, 1 minute exactly. 1 minute remaining. Exactly 1 minute. Exactly 1 minute. Exactly 1 minute. Exactly 1 minute. Time up. Who's done writing? All right. I see most of you are done. All right. I see most of you are done. Awesome. Awesome. See, guys, we must use technology as much as possible. Right. Right. So division of fractions like this, guys. As I said, you never, ever, 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 even when I turn 100 years old and end up driving a flying car, will ever divide a fraction by a fraction. Even the day I get to drive the first flying car in the world, you will never, ever divide fractions. Ever, 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 ever. So what do? You change this thing, this division sign into a multiplication, right? So it's 10 over 16, and I'm changing it into a multiplication. Because I changed the sign, this here on the right-hand side has to change. The fraction has to change because you changed the sign. So the denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator because I changed it. The reason for it is because I changed it. So the denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator. So 3 over 2 becomes 2 over 3. Then I multiply numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator, which is 20 over 48. 2 times 10 is 20. 16 times 3 is 48. Then I start. I have 20 over 48. I say 20 divided by 2 is 10. 48 divided by 2 is 24 because they're both even. And then I say again, 10 divided by 2 is 5. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Then I have my final answer of 5 over 12. That's all you do. You change this into a multiplication, and in this one, the denominator becomes the numerator becomes the denominator. Then you say 10 times 2 is 20, 16 times 3 is 48. Then you start. That you say you divide both by 2 because they're both even. 20 divided by 2 is 10, 48 divided by 2 is 24. 10 divided by 2 is 5, 24 divided by 2 is 12. Then you have 5 over 12. So I'm giving you guys 2 minutes to write this down. And then we're going to look at one example so I can give you guys an exercise. Giving you guys 2 minutes to write this down. Two minutes to write it down. Two minutes to write it down. Then we'll do one example, you write it down, and then we try one exercise, and then it's your homework. Looking at the time, we're gonna try for one question. Looking at the time, we're gonna try for one question. But I hope you guys see how similar they are and that they both use multiplication. It's just in one instance that you're changing the sign and you are changing one fraction where the denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator. 1 minute left, about a minute left. $30 seconds, 20 seconds. $10 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up. Who's done writing? All right. Same example here. I've got 8 over 15 divided by 11 over 20. Change the sign into a multiplication. Change the sign into a multiplication, which now swaps this around. So it becomes 20 over 11 because the denominator becomes the numerator becomes the denominator. And then I say 8 times 20, 15 times 11 is 165. Then I ask myself, what is 165 divided by 5 is 32. 165 divided by 5 is 33. So I have 32 over 33. Simple as that. Here as well, I convert these into improper fractions. So I say 5 times 5 is what? 25. Plus 2 is what? 27. Keep the denominator. Then I say 3 times 2 is what? Is 6 plus 1, it's 7. Then I write 7 over 2 because I'm keeping the denominators. All I did was find out what are my numerators. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 2 is 27. Kept the denominator. 2 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7 over 2, which is because I kept the denominator. Then I change this into a multiplication. Then I have 27 over 5 multiplied by 2 over 7, no longer 7 over 2, because the denominator became the numerator became the denominator. And I say 27 times 2 is what? 54. 5 times 7 is 35. Now, how many times does 35 go into 54? Goes once, and I write the 35 because I keep the denominator. And I say 1 times 35 is 35. Plus what is going to give me 54? 19. And then I am done. I am done. So I'll give you guys a minute, or let me say 2 minutes to write this down. Your 2 minutes has started. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? 2 minutes to write this down. Are there any questions at all? Are there any questions at all? Are there any questions that you guys have at all? Any questions that you guys have at all? The first one is very easy. I write 18 over 15. I change this division into multiplication. Then I flip the 20. The 20 becomes the numerator. The 11 becomes the denominator. Then I just say 8 times 20 gives me 160. 15 times 11 gives me 165. And then I just say divided by 5. 160 divided by 5 is 32. 165 divided by 5 is 33. Why did I say divided by 5 divided by 5? Because both of them are multiples of 5 and they are divisible by 5 because they end with a 0 and a 5. So you can divide them by 5. You have 32 over 33. Yes. That's what happened. Right. 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. 20 seconds left. Then we must just do one question in the exercise and then we do corrections. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So for the remaining 2 minutes, just do this one. Just try this one here, number 3. For the remaining 2 minutes before I show you the homework, try number 3. Your 2 minutes has started now. Just try this one, number 3. That's all I want you to do. Try number 3. You can screenshot these examples. So you can also do them on your own, but just try number 3. See how do you get an answer for number 3. Try number 3 on your own. Just try number 3. Just try number 3. 1 minute left. One minute left. One minute left. Ten seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Sorry about that. There we go. Here is the answer of number 3. Let me explain it. Right. So I said 44 over 10 divided by 3 over 4. Then I write 44 over 10 multiplied by 4 over 3. Then I multiply. 44 times 4 is what? 176. 10 times 3 gives me what? 30. Then I ask, how many times does 30 go into 176? 5 times. Denominator stays the same. It's 30. So 5 times 30 is what? 150. Plus 26 gives me what? 176. Then I go and I say, but I can divide this by 2, divide this by 2. So my final answer is 13 over 50. Because I can divide 13 by 2, 26 by 2 is 13, and 30 by 2 is 15. Write this in just this sum in 20 seconds now. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. I hope you guys are done writing down this one, if you only did this one. But you can check yourself if you did all of them as well. And I said you can take a screenshot with the phone or a laptop or whatever you're using to watch the video. Now, let's go. Here is your homework. If you are writing down, do for me number 1, number 5, number 10, 8 questions, if you are writing down your homework. If not, take a screenshot. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Because now we have 2 minutes left. Are there any questions? Any questions at all? Questions. Do you guys understand? Let me get an understanding. Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand? Do you guys get it? Are you good? Are you going to enjoy the weekend because you left understanding multiplication and division of fractions? Do you guys understand? That's all I want to know. You have 1 minute if you're still writing down those sums that you must do for the coming Monday. Because Monday we're going to be doing some things that are more fun. Right? So just take this time to ensure that you guys understand. And use the internet, guys. There's a lot on the internet that you can try. Do not be afraid to use the internet. Do not be afraid to look for papers and a lot of things that will help you understand better. So my story has ended. I love you guys, all of you. Thank you guys for attending. Thank you for being superstars. Stay safe, stay awesome. And one day, I promise you, if we all stay the geniuses that we are, we will all have flying cars. Goodbye and have a great time. Have a wonderful weekend. Rest. Don't trouble anybody and stay awesome people. Bye-bye. Love you all. Mwah.